First Breaking by Isabel Kellum. JB pressed her body against the screen door. It easily opened. She stared at the empty lawn laced with dead grass. Although it was spring in most of the country, it wasn't in Florida. The seething heat made her hesitate whether she wanted to leave the house. It hadn't rained in 9 days, and the heat rested heavily in the air, with a slight breeze. She stepped out of the house onto the front porch. Pitt, Gran's faithful dog, quickly arose to lick her knees in search of affection. "Smells like rain," JC's Gran yelled from inside the house. "Won't go far. Rain's still coming. Get your sister and come on home." JB was silent, knowing that another word would only prolong her Gran's warning. She walked down the porch steps, rubbing Pitt's head. The stuffy wind quickened a bit, and she knew that Gran, who some called Sunday, was right. She was still confused about why Billy, her sister, left without her. She seemed to have morphed into something else, not her sister, more combative, more salty, as Gran would say. She could have waited for me, she thought. This plagued JB, as she and Pitt set down the street in search of Billy. Billy was not her birth name, but a name that was given to her after she fought Chatty Chad in the gym. He grabbed her butt, and Billy didn't care much about being ladylike. The boys loved her for it, and maybe the girls would have if she didn't look the way she did. She was shaped like a Coca-Cola bottle, had hair that was shiny and silky when pressed, but often wore it in an afro that made her look out of this world more than human. She also had the legs of a track runner. She possessed the charms of a lady, but was rugged most of the time. What made her even more powerful is that she had the words to break anyone who dared to challenge her. She meant every word she uttered. JB heard basketballs hitting the concrete, muted voices of grown folks talking, and girls playing double dutch. Most people in the neighborhood fell into the color palette of bronze. There was no evidence of luxury in this 1977 Miami neighborhood, only the assurance of life and potential. All else would come and go, but life was constant, and children were born, and their potential with it. The rhythmic sounds in the air always reminded JB of what community felt like, even when some in the community were hostile. It was common for Alicia and Tamika, who lived 2 blocks down from JB, to ride their bikes. She could now see them from the corner of her eye, but her pace didn't change. Her deep, bronze, muscular legs moved like God himself could only create them to. Pitt awkwardly strolled beside her. His limp leg never quite healed after Gran's first husband found him next to the train tracks. "What you doing?" Alicia asked. "Walking." "We know that. Where are you going?" Tamika persisted. "You my mama? No, your mama had good sense to leave you and your raggedy sister." JB finally turned around and looked at the 2 girls directly. Alicia had the eyes of a raccoon, and Tamika's face could easily be forgotten. "Maybe I should send you to yours." Alicia became nervous at the sound of JB's voice. She stuttered before she could get her words out. "We're just looking for your sister. Why?" "Because she be taking people, man, that's why. Taking would mean she forced him." "Richard is not hers." "He's not yours either, and he likes to be called Richie. Your sister's a whore. It takes one to know one." Tamika started to get off her bike, but Pick's bark stopped her. JB abruptly started back walking. Her 2 adversaries did not follow. About a block down, JB found her sister conversing with Richie and James. Uncouth Pitt ran to Billy and relaxed his head on her knees. "Gran wants us home before it starts raining." "Yeah, she always wants us home," Billy said with disdain. "We gotta go." Yeah. You're heard. You're always heard. You and Gran." Billy's voice and mannerisms were like a moody cat. JB grabbed her sister by the arm and pulled her up, but Billy pruned her off like a grass sticker stuck on her clothing. JB was not offended. She set the tide in motion when she started back walking. Why y'all gotta go?" Richie pleaded. "Because our Gran said so." "Well, we'll walk with you," James said. Clouds drifted across the sky and muzzled the sun. The wind began to howl through the trees, and it brushed through the 4 of them like leaves. How fitting the wind was when Alicia and Tamika came riding their bikes down the street. Tamika's eyes were unrelenting, fixed on Billy, but Billy was consumed with the flares of Richie, and Billy's head swayed back in laughter every time Richie spit an elementary rhyme. "Mrs. Jenkins swears that I won't make it to the top. She just mad that I won't stop. She just mad that I got the skills to pay the bills and bring home the dollar bills, yo." Everyone laughed. But Billy's laugh was more like a woman's laugh. Richie was an attractive boy with brown, clear skin. His eyes were like circles of wind and light inviting you on a journey. Alicia couldn't stop studying him, but he was already employed. Tamika and Alicia fluttered up and down the streets with their bikes, searching for a way in the social construct on 17th Street. But no one uttered a word, or even threw a brazen look towards them. Pitt didn't even spare a bark. Tamika, frustrated by their refusal to recognize them, stops her bike right in front of the lively crew. They were baffled by the sudden interruption. Pitt barked to acknowledge the confrontation. "Richie, I thought you was coming with us to the store." "And why would you think that? He don't want you or her." Billy had already stepped forward by the time she said this. Laughter erupted, and it was not from the pair who had just joined the crew. "That's Richie's decision, not yours," Alicia blurted out from the side. She seemed timid, and Billy picked it up right away. "He made that decision, and that's why he's with us and not you." Tamika reacted more to this than Alicia. She dropped her bike and approached Billy's personal space. "You ain't cute nor pretty. You ugly and muscular, and you certainly not smart." The boys knew that this was going too far, so they leaned in quickly. Billy fires words that should not be spoken, and Tamika matches them, but not in enough time to stop the next blow. Richie found it amusing, but did not let the girls touch each other. JB was annoyed. She knew that Graham would not approve of Billy's behavior, and the Sky did not seem to approve either. "We need to go. I don't want to get in trouble with Gran. She started with me, so I'm going to finish it." "No, you're not. We have to go. Now. I'm sick of all y'all telling me what to do. She telling me what to do," pointing to Tamika. "You're telling me what to do. And then Gran's telling me what to do. I do what I want to do." "Until you can't. Then we're both in trouble. Fighting with these two girls is the least of our problems. Let's go." The heat from the day subsided, and the wind rallied for the rain to come. Richie grabbed Billy's hand and walked her towards JB. The four-member crew moved from the lonely pair that interrupted them, and then, like birds, Tamika and Alicia were gone. When the four arrived on the next block, JB saw Gran standing on the side of the house. Despite the rows of trees that could camouflage a wandering gator, Sunday spotted them easily. "There's Gran." Uttered Billy. Sunday called from afar, beckoning the girls to hurry. Her arms seemed to push the wind away from her. She didn't look like a normal grandmother. Her stature reminded JB of a Native American chief. She knew this stance well because her gran was married to Noble Joe, a Native American. "The cats and dogs not gonna wait. Come on." Pitt, seeing the woman who feeds him, ran like there was only one place to be. The crew should have run with him because a few seconds later, the sky cracked with strips of arresting, astounding light. Thunder spread its wings, and the rain poured down like oil. The boys and JC were like ducklings bracing for cover, but not Billy. The thunder continued to resonate through the air like large mountains crackling into pieces. Billy didn't even flinch. Sunday stood like the old women ushers in the church when they waited for a mother to take their crying baby out of service. The rain saturated her clothes and her previously pressed hair that was now tousled against her stolid mahogany face. Her silence made her look extraordinary. The boys cheered for Billy to come on, but she strolled down the street as if she owned it. JB knew from the look on Sunday's face that the current storm was nothing compared to the one that was coming. Why did her walk seem so long? JB thought. At this moment she wished Noble Joe was here, but it was only Billy with a name that was given to her, and Gran who needed no other name. "What's up with Billy, man?" James' words echoed everyone's thoughts. "That's just Billy," Richie replied. Billy had finally arrived in front of the house. Her eyelids didn't even flicker in the rain. "Didn't I tell you to come?" Sunday's voice sounded like she was holding back. "I'm here," Billy retorted. "Dang." Sunday's arm reached up to the heavens, like the red and white crossing gate at the train tracks. Then her hand swiftly came down and battered Billy's face. The boys howled at the sound of Sunday's hand hitting wet skin. "When I tell you to come, you come." Sunday marched out of the rain, beckoning everyone to come inside. But Billy stood in the white rain that cascaded against her body. JB saw her sister's face engulfed with useless, flaming anger. She patrolled her like she was going to see something for the first time. But Billy did not move, sway, or bend. JB lingered a little longer with the front door open. She tried to make eye contact with Billy, but she was bound by her own emotions. The rain continued to wash over Billy like she was on a clothesline. Moments passed and nothing. JB gave a sign and walked into the house where she heard Grant telling the boys to wash their hands. But maybe she should have stayed a moment longer. The rain was making muddled music against the house like hammers beating wood into place. Billy's ornery feet finally lifted from the sidewalk, and there they made their way into Sunday's house. Howling tears poured from Billy's eyes, but who could tell with the rain washing them